Look, I wanted to like this game, okay? It was the first game I ever pre-ordered, my hype was through the roof, and then when Mania came out, and Classic Sonic pulled that Forces pose from the trailer, my mind was fucking blown. This was the first Sonic game that was gonna intentionally lead into the next, as 3 and Generations kinda had the last game lead into it, but didn't really flesh it out in any sort of way. This was going to be the perfect Sonic game. They're going in a darker, grittier tone. They're going to bring back the great gameplay of Generations, and it's kind of just meh. Now, something you may not know is that before I made this account, and started all this other stuff that I've been doing, this was the first game I ever live streamed. I even tried to speedrun it a few times, but I was like 14, so yeah, I was an idiot, you know, I genuinely loved this game when it first came out, but as time went on, this great game completely worse and worse until I gave it a start called mediocre. This game is a bland, boring mess of just everything. Shall we begin with that story? The story of this game begins an indeterminate amount of time after Sonic Lost World with Shadow in a mystic jungle. He has to track down Eggman and put a stop to his newest project. Eggman has hired on the Jackal Squad to protect him. Shadow beats the shit out of the leader of the group and wipes out the rest, leading to the main Jackal to the point where he takes on the Phantom Ruby from the previous game and becomes infinite. Want to know how Eggman got the Ruby? Go read the comics, dummy, I swear! God, I swear if I come across more games that need external media to play major plot points, I'm gonna have to start calling myself a fan of FNAF Security Breach Ruin. Now he quits with the Phantom Ruby, Infinite attacks the local city and Omega gives chase. Shadow follows through the 100% destroyed city to find Infinite, who reminds him about the past encounter and he sends his Shadow to VR Hell in Green Hill. Once managing to snap out of it, Shadow disappears for the next half of the game as we then start up the non-DLC part of the story with Sonic in Ryu's Desert Hill Zone. Tails yells at him to get to the city, and once arriving at the city, Sonic gets his ass handed to him. Cut 6 months later when everybody thinks Sonic is dead and Tails has just fucking lost it. Silver is also here with a small resistance. Want to know why? Read the damn books, they're literally free on Twitter. Vector walks in and after some exposition we get to make our custom character. I make the furry version of Onyx from the 2024 series, you can go read my Wattpad page below, which I do basically every time I play this game. And we head to the spaceport to go and steal a shuttle. Also Classic Sonic shows up. Neat. Also Chaos is also dealt with in this section. Why did he even bring him back? On the Death Egg, Sonic is in prison. Oh yeah, he's not dead because this is level fucking 5 of 30. And we fight Zavok. Sonic then breaks out and he manages to meet up with Onyx and the pair escape, leaving the hundreds of animals we saw captive in the Zavok fight behind. I'm sure we'll go back and save them at some point. Once touched down on the ground, we have a series of missions where we run around and do random shit like look for Infinite and get nowhere, or escape through the city, doing nothing in the level. However, halfway through we find Shadow having just shown up out of fucking nowhere, and he explains how the Phantom Ruby is virtual reality, which is not how this thing works in Mania. Oh yeah, Classic Sonic and Tails are also here, but they don't do shit. Eggman has a plan to kill everybody in like 3 days, so we work to stop him doing random missions like stopping a giant crab from attacking a chemical plant that's hundreds of miles away and blowing up the Death Egg that still have people on it. Go heroes. All of this was to stop the power of the Phantom Ruby, but Eggman manages to do something smart for once and he built up a backup power generator under the city. He announces this before sending Onyx and Sonic to another dimension. The pair quick time event out of Null Space and return to the normal world where they play the best level in the game. Sonic and Onyx then gloat in front of Eggman who runs away. We attack Eggman's Imperial Fortress, he summons the power of the sun and tries to kill us, but Onyx pulls out the power being Sonic's best friend and the Phantom Ruby we may have got in the Infinite boss fight so long ago. You know, the same level where Knuckles had also killed, 80% of the free world.
80% of our forces have been wiped out, and we've lost contact with the rest!
To stop the sun. We then invade Eggman's tower, kill Infinite, and then reuse the same final boss fight for Sonic Lost World, which was stolen from Sonic Colors. And we then send Eggman to the Void. How does he escape for the next game? Please read the comics, they're actually good now. Please, please. Classic Sonic leaves to be in Sonic Superstars, and the group start rebuilding the world. Other than Sonic and Onyx who just fuck off. The end. This is a mess of a story that refuses to take a moment to breathe while having a million details and inconsistent logic. Now the reasoning for the inconsistent logic is that this game was put into production before Mania, so Mania was retroactively made plot important. so Forces was trying to scramble to catch up to what that game was saying. Because in the original plots and script, Classic Sonic, or Alt Sonic, as it keeps referring to him as, was shown to be an illusion created by the Phantom Ruby, likely to rebel while Eggman's abuse of it. However, the line...
Wait, what? Oh, you're that Sonic from another dimension, aren't you?
was likely thrown in to just help him fit the way Mania uses the Phantom Ruby. This doesn't even go into how characters how written and interact. Being a new one-off character, I think Onyx's character arc of need to be braver and what is touching if rushed. Tails is now just a fucking Sonic simp despite having gone apparently insane. He's probably just hallucinating Alt Sonic.
Sonic, help me!
Alt Sonic has literally no impact on the plots and everything he does, other than confuse the power of the Phantom Ruby. Could have been done by Shadow, or Knuckles, or just Tails himself. Most of the other characters are pretty close to how they were in Gens, but now that they're actually plot important and, you know, doing things, the paper-thin writing of that game's characters just doesn't work. And then there was stuff like, why is Knuckles the commander? He literally killed 80% of the free world. Why is Silverhair? Please go read the comics. Vector, what the hell are you up to? This doesn't even mention how Infinite is so bland and clearly edge bait at its hearts. His theme song, that's in one cutscene that only has dialogue over it, sets him up to be something he isn't. This game is a mess of stitched together ideas and terrible decisions, so what about that gameplay? Starting with the worst of the worst, Alt Sonic is fucking terrible. I already don't like 2D platforming that much, so this is pretty bad, but Alt Sonic loses all momentum when jumping, and he controls so fucking awfully. It's really hard to explain, but Alt Sonic here feels heavy and slow like me in the morning. I genuinely think without Alt Sonic this game would have been just all the better for it. Then maybe they could put work into the other two characters. Up next is Sonic, and he's fine. He's stiff, that's because this clearly built on the back of Sonic Lost World. Most of his issues from the weird double jump to the weird air physics come from that game, because this is clearly based on Lost World's code. But he has one saving grace. His air boost, it's so fucking broken, I love it. Finally, his Onyx hair. Now, the customization is great, incentivizing you to get S ranks, even though I don't believe that fucking hard anymore. But she also has Wispons. The best use of the Wisps outside of Team Sonic Racing. With the Wispons, you have access to a bunch of Wisps from Sonic Colors, Colors DS and Sonic Lost World. Just stick with the Burst Wisp. Not only is it the best Wisp in Sonic Colors, both versions, and Lost World, it's also just the best weapon in the game and usually has the most fun sections and levels. Otherwise, Onyx Controls is just Sonic without a boost. This is to the point where they actually have the pair team up for a few levels, and you switch by using the character's specific action, whether that be the Wispon for Onyx or boosting with Mon Sonic. Together the levels are really short and boring and reused. Here, let me just show you the level city and how it's clearly the same between Sonic, Shadow and Onyx.
That area is enemy territory. Keep going, Shadow.
Got it. E123 Omega here. Extermination proceeding without incident. No problem to report.
Extermination? This is supposed to be a recon mission. You can't go making a big scene.
You should have known better than to send Omega on an op like this.
Oh yeah, Shadow is playable! In the DLC, Shadow has some scripted segments where he can Chaos Snap to a bunch of other enemies. Otherwise, he's just Sonic. Honestly, that's all I gotta say, but that and the overabundance of 2D section and corridors that they straight up make Sonic Adventure 2 look like Sonic Adventure 1. So this gameplay really isn't that great, but how about that presentation? Well, the music is... it's a very mixed bag. First, listen to some of Alt Sonic's techno nightmare shit. Now, take a listen to some of modern Sonic's music. His music is pretty close to something I would imagine being a Sonic Adventure 2 or something, but it's got a little bit of that synthy vibe to it, which I do like, I'll admit. Onyx's music in the game is actually probably some of my favorites, just because they feel so damn unique when not sounding like. You know, it sounds pretty good. The main theme of the game, Fist Bump, is I'd grown on it, but it's still not the best thing they could have done.
I can't do this alone, even though I am strong. Need something more than me, someone to push me to victory. Let's see what we can do together, me and you. Can't be afraid to try. Kiss your fears goodbye. No looking back. You and I were on the attack. Full speed ahead, running to the sunset. Such a different feeling. Both of us believing we can make it better. Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Pushing on through until the battle's won. No one's gonna get from thing to us. Into each other we put our trust. Standing united after the fight. It's a brand new day. We have turned the page. Never knew how much I needed somebody to help me this way. All alone, we will never be. The two of us are holding the key. We see today a world we couldn't see. Before I say goodbye to you, one more last fist bump.
And then for the 3 levels in Shadow's campaign, his music is pretty good, and it's all remixes of songs that were actually important to some of his character choices, and hey, that's great! I mean, take a listen. Overall, if you ignore Alt Sonic, the music is good to great, and I like it well enough. I just wish that it was more consistent with itself. Bye!